Hello, scholars. Welcome to Unit 7. In this unit, we're going to focus on the immune system. And in order to do that, I want you to understand what causes disease before we talk about how the body fights disease. Okay? So, what are the causes of disease? We've got two general categories of disease. We've got non-infectious and infectious. The difference is this one is not infectious. You cannot catch a non-infectious disease from someone else. Why? Well, because they're either genetic or environmental or some combination of both. So, I can inherit or develop an illness due to the genes that I've inherited from my parents. Or maybe there's some sort of toxin or radiation in the environment which causes me to be sick. Or perhaps the environment triggers a genetic disease that I've carried for a while in my genes, but needs to be activated by that environment. Now there's lots of examples of this. Probably the most common ones are cancer. Okay. Cancer is where cells in your own body stop playing as a team and they start dividing on their own. So that's not a disease caused by something else. Okay. You can't catch cancer from somebody. Heart disease, all right? If my arteries and veins get blocked, that is a disease from the environments, from my diets, from my exercise. There's other factors, but I don't catch heart disease from somebody. Asthma, okay? I may have a genetic predisposition for asthma, and when it interacts with certain things in the environment, okay, then those things can trigger an asthma attack, all non-infectious. The other big category when we think of diseases, infectious disease. These are caused by pathogens. The old word for pathogens are germs. Okay, mom and dad talking about germs, those are pathogens. These are living things that use you and your body as a resource to survive and reproduce. Do they care what happens to you? Not really. It's a war. It's a battle between you and them. Most often we're talking about bacteria and viruses, but you can also have parasites like worms or fungi, like athlete's foot, can be pathogenic, or other living organisms using you as a resource. These are the ones that are spread from one person to another. Get a nice little picture here. Okay, these are all microorganisms, viruses, germs, bacteria, fungus, parasites. Okay, these are all things that we can spread from one to another. Those are environmental things like pollution and carcinogens and toxins. Okay, those can poison us, they can make us sick, and they can cause non-infectious disease. Cool? All right. So how are these pathogens transmitted? Some of the stuff you may already know, but I want to make sure that we all understand, because if anything is important with what we've learned this year, it's how you can stay healthy. In order to do that, you need to understand how these are transmitted. So, disease can be spread airborne. Sneezing and coughing spreads disease, pathogens that are in my mouth and nose, and puts them out into the air. You breathe that air, it goes into your lungs, into your nose. All of a sudden, pathogen has, where's my mouse? There we are, a warm, wet place to start reproducing and infect you. Okay. Also, through things that are contaminated, like objects, I touch a doorknob, I shake someone's hand. All right. Then I've got the pathogens on my fingers. I rub my eye, I wipe my nose, I touch my mouth, and the pathogens, the bacteria and the viruses went from my fingertips. Now they're inside my body in a warm, wet place. Okay? Could be person-person contact. All right? Kissing, touching, sexual contact, open source, essentially anywhere where bodily fluids are exchanged, pathogens can be exchanged as well. All right. And there are also, I forgot about contamination of food and water. Okay. There are bacteria living in other animals, living on other plants. you eat those foods, your stomach acid and your immune system can handle most of them, but some of them you can't. So that's why we cook our food. That's why we treat our water, to make sure nothing else is living in it when we eat it. That way we're not giving them a free ticket into our body. Last but not least, animals. Animals can carry parasites. Birds carry parasites. Dogs carry parasites like ringworm. Okay? These are pathogens living in those animals. That's a host animal, and they get transmitted to us through contact. Cool? Here's what bacteria look like when they grow in thousands. So a little bit of contamination on this little petri dish. They grow and grow and grow as long as they have a warm temperature and some water and a food source. You are typically the food source. All right, so how can we prevent pathogens and stay healthy? A couple of these, the first two are, thousands of years old, okay? If you wash your hands and maintain a clean environment, okay, the soap is going to rupture cell membranes and disrupt protein coats of viruses. The water, okay, washes it away. It weakens its ability to stick to your skin, stick to pots, stick to surfaces. So I'm killing the cells, I'm loosening their grip on them, I'm disrupting DNA and protein and viruses. So washing your hands, washing yourself, washing the place that you live will help keep you free of pathogens. Number two, heat. Okay, humans have been cooking their food for a long time. Why? We've known that cooked food makes us more healthy. Why? We're killing the bacteria living in that piece of meat, killing that bacteria growing on those vegetables. And if I'm going to store food for a long time, like milk or cheese or dairy products, I can pasteurize them, which means heat them up to really high temperature. That boiling process, that heating process, ruptures the cell membranes of the bacteria. It denatures the DNA of a virus, and it makes the food safe to eat. It can't infect us anymore. In the last 100 years, we've invented antibiotics. What are antibiotics? Anti means against. Biotics, living things, living cells inside us. So antibiotics are special chemicals, proteins typically, that other organisms make, and we've kind of stolen them, all right? And these antibiotics slow down bacteria. They get in the way of their moving. They get in the way of their reproducing. They get in the way and clump them together, which makes it easier for our immune system to come in and break them down and tear them apart. Okay. Last but not least, vaccinations. Hopefully you're up to date on all your vaccinations. What a vaccine is, it's a dead form of the virus or the bacteria. So it's not alive, it can't reproduce in you. They take a needle, they put it underneath your skin at the doctor's office, and your immune system says, hey, wait, there's something here that's not supposed to be here. Let's find a way to battle it. Well, it doesn't need to be battled because it's dead. But your immune system remembers what that looks like. So next time your immune system is ready and can mount a defense against that pathogen, that bacteria or virus, before it ever starts reproducing and gets a serious infection going. So here's my dead virus, my dead bacteria. I inject it underneath the skin. My immune system makes antibodies to battle this dead virus, even though it doesn't really need battling. Your immune system doesn't know it's dead. It's just like, I see something different. Attack. Boom. It saves the playbook. It saves the game plan for how to make those antibodies to battle the pathogens so that when the real disease comes in next time, I already have a defense mounted against it. Okay? Cool. All right, 3 questions you need to know. What are the causes of disease? How are pathogens transmitted? How can we prevent it? This is section 1 in chapter 27. Make sure you take your notes. I'll see you in class.